Who can resist the beauty of Wales? Its hills and cliffs, rivers and lakes and coastline draw scores of hikers and surfers every year. Dan Steptoe spends most of his time admiring the landscape from the air. At 23, he's already been flying tourists above northern Wales for 4 years.
You can see the scenery. We've got the mountains one side, we've got the sea, we've got the beautiful coastline, we've got the Menai Straits, what separates Anglesey and the mainland itself. It's just a beautiful place to fly, really. I mean, when the weather's good like this, it's perfect.
And the country is also famous for its castles, all 641 of them. Caernarfon Castle is one of the most impressive. King Edward I of England started building it in 1283 for the English. Just down the road in Llanberis is a Welsh castle.
This castle was built in 1220 by the Welsh to keep the English out of Wales. There's a battle that's still going on to this day between the English and Welsh, but thankfully now it's on the rugby field.
Mike Thomas often comes here before work. The train conductor accompanies tourists on the Snowdon Mountain Railway, Britain's only rack and pinion railway. The ride to the top takes 40 minutes. With an elevation of 1,085 metres, Mount Snowdon is the highest mountain in Wales.
For me, it's just a special place. I mean, to come up here in the mountains, to see a different view every day. There's always something new to see on the railway.
And there's plenty new to see from the cockpit as well. The region is popular with climbers, and ambitious ones too. The New Zealander Edmund Hillary trained here before attempting Mount Everest, whose summit he reached in 1953. Just a few minutes away is Anglesey Island, which has been connected to the mainland by the Menai Suspension Bridge since 1826. You can take a train to this place, but its name's almost impossible to pronounce unless you're a local. In English, that's St Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel, near the fierce whirlpool, and the Church of Tisilio by the Red Cave. Farther west is Holyhead. This is where Grant Mitchell and his friends like to spend time.
I think it's a progression from when you were children, with little children going out, not a lot else to do locally, so exploring the coastline, finding spots to jump.
In fact, he's invented a new sport. It's a cross between cliff jumping, climbing, cave exploring and shore scrambling. And it's for families and adrenaline junkies alike. In many ways, it's the kind of activity he's been doing since childhood.
The names, Boys Cove, Biatch, Bunge, they're names we used when we were children, and they're names that children use nowadays as well, yeah.
Just a few kilometres away is South Stack Lighthouse. At 28 metres, it's the tallest in Wales. And this is the place to come for a traditional Welsh tea. Sharon Grace makes a mean fruit cake. Her secret is to infuse the dried fruit in cold tea overnight.
It's a Welsh traditional cake. So years ago it was, people had bread over, and then they'd have some fruit, add to the bread, a bit of sugar and your fruit, and then they'd have it as a cake to have, you know, hence it's called bara brith in Welsh, and it's translated as speckled bread.
Megalithic monuments bear witness to the island's rich past. Bryn Cellyddi is a prehistoric site that's believed by some to mark the summer solstice. Dan Steptoe goes up in the air several times a day.
That's all I've ever wanted to do since I was a baby. I've always wanted to fly, so doing it now is perfect.
He takes in the scenery once again before returning to the airfield, where another group of tourists awaits him.